Good evening and welcome to the January 8th, 2026 meeting of the City Summit Zoning Board of Adjustment. My name is Scott Loigitz and I am the Zoning Chair Board Chair. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. In accordance with New Jersey Statute 10:4-10, adequate notice of this special meeting has been provided to a newspaper record. It's been posted here in City Hall. This meeting is a judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to the issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision. Decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. For the benefit of the interested public, this meeting is being live streamed on the city's YouTube page. It's also being broadcast on Summit's government channel, which is Comcast 34 and Verizon Channel 30. Transcript of this meeting is also being taken using video and audio, so we need all speakers to utilize one of the microphones in this room. Please note that the fire exits are to my right, your left, and at the back of the room where you entered. City has a listening system to assist the hearing impaired. Anyone needs hearing assistance, please obtain the system at the dais and return it thereafter. Ms. Sands, can you please call the roll of the members?
Yeah, we should swear
All right.
in new members before we do the official roll.
All right, so we're going to switch things up tonight because this is also our reorganization meeting for 2026. And we are lucky enough to have Mayor Fagan here tonight, who's graciously agreed to swear in our new members of the board, which is David. All right, that's it.
All right, David, you're on
All
the
right,
hot
David.
seat. Okay, I'll ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
I,
state your name,
David Mullen,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all of the duties
perform all of the duties
of a member of the zoning board
of a member of the zoning board
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. And welcome back.
Welcome back, David.
Thanks.
We're very happy to have you. Ms. Sands, would you now like to call the roll?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Mr. Curran is excused. Mr. Millay?
Here.
Mr. Mullen?
Here.
Mr. Nelson?
Here.
Mr. Yuko?
Here.
Ms. Zahn?
Here.
Ms. Chifo is excused. Mr. Feskins?
Here.
Mr. Chanchuli?
Here.
Mr. Bell is excused. Mr. Loikitz?
Here.
You have a quorum. You may proceed.
Excellent. All right. Jessica, I'll let you do this part.
Before we elect the chair for 2026, we have 3 resolutions that we need to act on. These are for the professionals who will serve the board in 2026. Our first professional appointment is for our board engineer. We have Colliers Engineering, and representing Colliers would be Ms. Marie Raffay. Do we have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Mr. Loikitz?
Yes.
Mr. Millay?
Yes.
Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Yuko?
Yes.
Ms. Zahn?
Yes.
Mr. Feskins?
Yes. Thank you. Congratulations. Welcome back.
Our next resolution will be for the professional appointment of board planner. We have Burgess Associates, and representing Burgess, we have Mr. Ed Snikis. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second? Mr. Loikitz?
Yes.
Mr. Millay?
Yes.
Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Yuko?
Yes.
Ms. Zahn?
Yes.
Mr. Feskins?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome back, Ed.
And then for our final professional appointment, we have board attorney. That's Davison Eastman Munoz Payon, represented by Mr. Andy Ball. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Loikitz?
Yes.
Mr. Millay?
Yes.
Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Yuko,
Yes.
Ms. Zahn,
Yes.
Mr. Feskins.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Welcome back.
Want me to do it, or do you? This is At this point, we will consider nominations for chair for 2026.
I'd like to nominate Scott Loikitz to continue serving as chair of the City of Summit Zoning Board of Adjustment for this upcoming year. I think Scott has shown an exceptional ability to manage complex public hearings with both efficiency and impartiality. He has made sure that all voices are heard and has worked to keep our discussions civil and on point, has a strong understanding of our land use law and Summit's local master plan and zoning ordinances to help ensure that our decisions remain legally sound and consistent with our long-term goals. So I'm honored to renominate Scott for the position of chair.
Thank you, Tom.
I'll second that.
Mr. Malay,
Yes.
Mr. Mullen,
Yes.
Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Yuko,
Yes.
Ms. Zahn,
Yes.
Mr. Feskins.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you all.
Now we will consider nominations for vice chair for 2026.
I'd like to renominate Miriam Zahn as vice chair for Summit Zoning Board of Adjustment.
I'd second that, absolutely.
Great.
If she wants it, of course.
Mr. Malay,
Yes.
Mr. Mullen,
Yes.
Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Yuko,
Yes.
Mr. Feskins.
Yes.
Chairman Loikitz.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Congratulations. All right. So this part makes sense now. Andy Ball is the zoning board's attorney. Mr. Ball advises the board members on matters of law. It's a key interface with the applicant's attorney. Mr. Ball does not vote on these applications. Jessica Sands is a city employee and did a great job navigating us through those nominations. And our board secretary works with applicants on preparing their applications, planning our agendas, and keeping our meeting minutes. The board secretary also does not vote on the applications. Also present are our experts who are hired annually and just accepted back in. So congratulations, guys. To provide input to the board. Tonight, we have Marie Raffet from Collier's Engineering. Also present is Ed Snikas from Burgess Associates. And he's our board planner. These experts are seated at the table to the right of the board, the public's left. They also do not vote on these applications. Our board consists of 7 regular members and up to 4 alternates. All the members can participate in the hearings tonight, but only a maximum of 7 can vote. Most applications require a simple majority to be approved. Before we enter into executive session to vote on the application, you'll be advised as to how many votes are required. Each case will begin with the applicants or their attorney giving an overview of the application process to date and the variances that are required. We then hear from any additional expert witnesses the applicant may have to help explain the application, why the variances are needed. The board experts, followed by the board members, may ask questions of the applicant, their attorney, and their expert witnesses. Due to recent cases running excessively long, we strongly encourage applicants and their experts to give brief and concise testimony so we may get to as many cases as possible in any given evening. Once the board members and then the board professionals have completed their questioning, public will have an opportunity to ask questions. It's not the time to tell us what you think about the case. This comes at the end of the hearing. Please be careful as how you phrase your questions. They should not be preceded with a statement about the case. It should be a direct question to the witness. Also, before you ask your questions, please clearly state your name, spell your last name, and provide your address. It's important that our court reporter be able to keep a clear and accurate public record. After all witnesses have been heard, members of the audience have their second opportunity to speak. At that time, you may express your opinion, positive or negative, about the application. Then the public hearing is closed and we enter into executive session, where the board members discuss the case and then vote. You'll be able to listen in on our executive session, but normally not be able to participate in our discussion. I ask that each applicant and their attorney, if present, come up and give a brief synopsis of their anticipated testimony tonight, including the number of witnesses and whether or not they can finish their presentation within 30 minutes. So tonight, we're going to start with 30 Ridgedale Avenue. Again, just come on up, give us a brief synopsis, and we'll get right back to you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. So the first is Yang, and it's 30 Ridgedale. We were here October 20th, and the board had some concerns about there was an adjacent tree on the neighboring property, and the board was wondering if we can move that garage back. I think we can do it in 30 minutes. I have two witnesses. I have my engineer, and then I have my applicant, and we do have a neighbor here, the neighbor who is on that subject property adjacent to it.
Great, okay. We
And
will-
then I'm
Yep.
here for the next one.
Oh,
For
even
Troy,
better.
37 Webster, that's also me. That is a forgiveness application, so there were some things done that we didn't realize we needed permits for, but we only have one witness unless you have questions for the applicant. I think we can do it in 30 unless the board really wants me to go into the history of the application.
All right, great. You're not doing the third one?
I am not.
So can I have a representative from 221 Blackburn, please? Hi, welcome.
My name's Bree Grant, and I live at 221 Blackburn Road with my husband, Bill. We've been contemplating a substantial renovation for some time now. Our house is in a great neighborhood near Franklin, and we are looking to expand upon and enhance our first floor space and put a addition over our garage. We've hired Elizabeth Rush, who's here with us today, to work with us on a design. So,
Okay. So it'll be you and her as witnesses?
yes,
All right,
and I think if
excellent.
there's additional questions.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll get to you soon. All right, so let's circle back to 30 Ridgedale Avenue and begin.
Oh, Webster was, never mind.
Fun video this afternoon.
So I'll introduce myself and then I'll hand out some exhibits just to make it a little bit easier. My name is Amanda Wolf of Dempsey Dempsey and Sheehan in Summit. I have with me Ryan Smith. He is an engineer from Yanacone Villa in Aldrin, and he will be assisting us. So as I said before, we were here October 20th, and we had our contractor Abe who was here with us. We didn't have our architect, unfortunately, but Abe was able to answer some of the questions. Given the board's concerns about that tree on the adjacent property and whether we could move the garage back, we did retain an engineer to help us figure that out because we did want to figure out if we could comply with the board's request. The board had also requested that we provide site plans with a tree survey, cross-sections, and impervious coverage calculations, and photographs. Those are what I will be handing out as exhibits A1 and A2. As you may recall, there's no garage right now, so we are really just trying to comply with the ordinance and install this garage, and we are only looking for two variances. There's a side yard setback for 2.7 feet, where 8 feet is required, and then concurrently, a combined side yard setback of 29.3%, whereas 33% is required. You may remember we are actually reducing the impervious coverage with this proposal because we're cutting down some of the driveway and we've already removed the shed. So with that, let me give out these exhibits. So if we can mark it's a site plan. If we can mark that, I believe it's 5 sheets. We can mark this as exhibit A1. And we did try to submit it in advance of the hearing. Unfortunately, it was only 9 days. So.
Is that, Amanda, are your exhibits, I assume this is the
Yes, everything
site
that you
plan
got.
here? Okay, so we have full-size copies before if we could pass those out too. Just pass it out. Thank you.
Perfect.
Full-size copies.
Full-size copies.
I think I have that.
Oh, they already have it. Oh, perfect. All right. And then do you want me to hand out the photographs, or do you already have them?
Those are printed, those are getting
We have
handed out right now.
Okay, we'll still mark it as an exhibit though?
Yes, A2.
And just for the record, Mr. Yang took those photographs in December of 2025. So once everybody has their plans and whatnot, I will let Mr. Smith take it over. If we could have him sworn, and he will qualify
And
himself.
Mr. Smith was not here last time?
He was not.
Great. You can raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
And please state your name, spell your last name.
My name is Ryan Smith, S-M-I-T-H.
Thank you. And can you briefly describe your background and experience for the board, please?
I am a licensed land surveyor and professional engineer in the state of New Jersey. I've testified before many boards. I've been before this board before. It's been a couple of years. See a few new faces, a few familiar faces. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, a bachelor's degree in surveying engineering technology, and a master's degree in environmental engineering. I've also sat on my own board in Hopatcong, New Jersey.
Any questions from the board, or would you like to accept his credentials?
We would. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Please proceed.
Okay, I'm going to start on page 1 on the plans that you were given tonight. I'm sorry that they were not in a timely fashion. I'm here representing 30 Ridgedale Avenue, Block 4204, Lot 35. That's in the center of your page. It's in the R6 zone. It contains 9,912 square feet. The minimum in that zone is 6,000 square feet, so we're well over the minimum area. The lots in this area are 60 feet wide in a 60-foot minimum zone. We are 60 foot wide. The existing dwelling is being renovated, and the site improvements are already under construction. The applicant is seeking variance for side yard setback, combined side yard setback, and for the existing driveway, which is located less than 2 feet from the property line. The addition is for an attached garage. Of the 28 lots you see within 200 feet on the area map on sheet 1, 27 are residential lots, and 1 is a school. Of the 27 residential lots, 20 of them have garages. Of those 20, 16 have attached garages, and 4 are detached garages. I'm going to go ahead and switch to sheet number 2. With your zoning plan. When the applicant was before this board in October, the board asked for some additional information. Some of the things you guys asked for was a topographic survey showing what was already done and what is proposed, a site plan showing all the hardscapes existing and proposed, some impervious coverage calculations, and the tree locations. My office surveyed the property and prepared this 5-sheet set of plans. In front of you is Exhibit A1. You have the full size. Sheet 2 contains the topography and the trees on it. It also shows the existing dwelling. This is It shows the existing dwelling here in the center. We're showing the shed that was there has already been removed. It's in there dashed. The wood ramp that was there. This shows the driveway that is still there. The hatched area is what's proposed to be removed in order to make room for the new improvements. We've also showed where the original wall was along the side of the house, which has been removed. It's shown in dashed on here as removed, and the new wall that was constructed in line with the side of the house. So that's the existing conditions. This sheet also has the steep slopes analysis with the topography on it. So we're showing in the hatched area all of the steep slopes. We are showing for the proposed, which is on sheet 3, I overlaid the limited disturbance on sheet 2 here so we can do the steep slopes analysis of the disturbance. We will be disturbing 986 square feet. The limit is 1,000, so we comply with the steep slope ordinance. If everybody is okay with sheet 2, I'm going to move on to sheet 3. Sheet 3 is the lot grading plan. We're showing the proposed attached garage here. We're showing the proposed additional driveway, which is going to fill in between where the old driveway was and the old wall, which had been removed. That's currently dirt right now, but it's going to be paved up to the new wall that has been constructed, but will be replaced with a set of stairs that are going to come down from the new vestibule. The new vestibule replaced an old porch that was on the front that was dilapidated. There's going to be a new landing, and as I mentioned, a set of stairs coming down to grade along that wall. A couple other improvements that the client is doing is in the backyard. The existing stairs that run down along the back of the house are going to be moved over about 5 feet. And in doing so, we're also going to put some retaining walls. There's a steep slope running down from this patio in the backyard towards where the shed used to be. We're going to terrace that and remove some of those steep slopes and make it a nicer backyard. So there's 2 proposed walls, and the new stairwells are shown here. As requested by the board, and what we usually put on a lot grading plan is we have our lot coverage calculations. We have the existing lot coverage, which was carried over from sheet 2. The existing lot coverage on this lot was 2,944 square feet. We're taking out 669 square feet. We're adding 633 square feet for a net reduction of 36 square feet. The final total of the coverage will be 2,908, which is 29.3%. Maximum in this zone is 40, so we comply. Because we are actually reducing coverage on this lot, we are reducing runoff. And because we're reducing some of these steep slopes, we're also reducing the velocity of the existing runoff. One of the other things on this page that is important to notice is the zoning table, which shows all of the bulk requirements, including the 2.7 required sidebar, the 2.7 foot setback is listed here, where required is 8 feet. That's one of the variances. The combined side yard setback required is 33% of the lot width, which is 19.8 feet. We are proposing 17.1, so we need a variance for that. And then there's the variance, as I mentioned before, for the existing concrete curb and driveway, which is less than 2 feet. It's about a half a foot off the property line. But that's been there. Any questions about sheet 3?
Question about runoff, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Since you mentioned it. So where you're located in the garage, I'm not sure how the roof's gonna be pitched, but if it's pitched, I guess parallel to the lot line, I guess that would guide stormwater runoff much closer to the property line, if not on the property line. So what remediation measures are you designing in that structure to make sure that that runoff stays on property?
Well, the roof leader is going to discharge to the driveway right here, which runs out to the street, which is where the existing runoff. If we go back to sheet 2, you'll see that most of the runoff comes to the back of this driveway
Right.
and runs down the driveway to the street. So we're pretty much keeping it in kind with the existing.
So you're gonna regrade the driveway when it's paved, so it.
The driveway has a curb here,
Okay, perfect.
so it traps the water.
All right, thank you.
You got it. Any other questions on sheet 3?
Yes. There is a generator pad on the side of the house that is not showing up on the drawing here. It looks like it's newly poured. Or it looks like it's a generator pad. I'm not sure what it could be for. It could actually be for AC units. It could be, I mean, you don't always put AC units on concrete. Usually put a generator on concrete, so.
May I see what you're referring to? Because it was not there when we did the survey in December.
Am I allowed to show the?
Is it?
I think this came up before. He just asked if you could see. Well, there's a concrete pad on the side of the house, not the driveway side, the opposite side of the house. So,
That's for that's for the.
Does he need to be
heat
sworn in?
condenser.
Needs to be sworn.
Oh, yeah. He needs to be sworn in.
No, Mr. Yang is already sworn previously, so he remains under oath.
Yes, go ahead. And just please be sure to speak into the
Yes,
microphone.
and I apologize, it wasn't on the drawing, the contractor poured the concrete slab 2 days ago. It is for the stabilities of the condenser for the AC units, which per our HVAC contractor, that it's better using a concrete slab versus just putting that on the soil.
okay, so that changes the coverage a little bit, your lot coverage. It's probably 3 feet by 8 feet. I'm just guessing from my picture. It could be, somewhere in that range.
As long as we're talking about that, I was down at the site today, and I noticed that it looked like there was a service entrance for a ductless heating and cooling system on the driveway side today. There's 2 white, to me, it looks like it's for a ductless air conditioning system. It'll be right where the garage is gonna be. Either it's in front of the garage or in the garage.
Oh, the vents that.
The pipe work.
Yeah,
And then that's in front of the garage.
Why don't you come up and have a seat?
To my best knowledge, it's probably in front of the garage.
So it's gonna be in the driveway in front of the garage, so it's gonna narrow your garage opening?
I,
It's gonna make your driveway narrower.
I don't think, at least on my non-professional opinion, it's not wide enough to actually cause any sort of difference to the opening of the garage, but
But the pipe, what your question, if I'm just I want to make sure I'm understanding it, is those pipes look like they're actually going to be discharging into the garage?
Well,
Is that your
I'm not-
question?
I
Based on the
didn't-
layout here, yes.
According to the
Okay.
statement just made, it's gonna be in front of the garage.
It can't be,
I don't know.
yeah.
It's hard
Not
for me
from
to
the-
gauge.
Not from the, yeah, it's really a few feet off from the door, maybe
Yeah.
4 feet off, 5 feet.
Well, condenser can't be in the garage.
No.
Right.
Can't be
Well,
in the
yeah, this is some kind of discharge pipe,
It looks like it's for ductless. You know, it's the pipe and,
like an exhaust
Yeah.
pipe.
Yeah, but
My
a
house, I got
condenser
my
unit-
dryer vent.
Condenser
exhausting
unit
through my
cannot
garage.
be inside of an enclosed garage.
well, you can exhaust through the garage, not into the garage.
Yeah.
It's just a question. I should have took a picture, but I didn't carry my phone with me. My wife gets very mad at me for not
And they
carrying
could
my
run a
phone.
line through the garage.
What is it? For what?
I'm sorry, we're just trying to figure out that.
Yeah, I found it very unusual that you would install that if you want to build a garage there.
That's gotta come out.
It's going to be in the way.
That's gotta come out. That's gonna be in the way of the garage. That's gotta come out. Okay,
yeah, that could be moved.
that's gonna have to be relocated. It can't go there.
Sounds like
It
it's
will
gonna
be
move.
removed.
Okay.
And
I
And
just
what
was
is it-
curious.
What is it for?
It's for the heat split.
It's a ductless heating
okay.
and cooling system.
For the HVAC.
And just one follow-up question for the applicant. I know we had a rough estimate of a 3x8 concrete pad. Does that sound accurate?
For an AC unit, that's way too big.
It might be, I,
It could be 3 by 6.
It could be two
or
units,
2 by
though.
Yeah, it looks like 2 units. There are
Two
wires
units.
coming out.
It's-
of the
it's-
unit.
Multiple
it's two
condensers.
units.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my
Is-
professional opinion, a typical one unit sits on a 3x3 pad. If you had two next to each other, 3x8 would be correct because you'd have a 2-foot gap between the two of them.
So that sounds
So 3x8 would
approximately-
be 24 square feet of coverage, which would change our coverage reduction from 36 to 12.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Shall we?
Yes.
Good.
Sorry.
Got it. Okay. Sheet 4, this is the one I like to blow over really quick because it's just soil erosion and sediment control detail sheet. We have to have this in order to apply for soil erosion sediment control. Sheet 5 was for a special request from the board. We don't normally do.
Can I just ask a question about
Sure.
sheet 4
Sure.
before we get to sheet 5?
Absolutely.
Just looking at the limit of disturbance.
Mhm.
Why is like the driveway area and all of that not in the area of disturbance? And like, is the limit of just, it's that speckled area? Is that the limit of, what, how do we, oh, never mind, it's this whole, like,
The whole limit of disturbance runs around here.
okay, all right.
So that's, and if you look back to sheet 2, you'll see the entire limit of disturbance. This particular detail is deceiving. It's called a decompaction standard. When you do disturbance, you're required to restore that by doing tillage down to 6 inches. The areas that are exempt are areas within 20 feet of a foundation and anything underneath hardscapes. You wouldn't till that.
Okay.
So what you're seeing
That's
is
why
the
it's
actual
speckled.
cutout of that 20 feet. So anything in this area. So the hatched areas are the areas that need to be restored.
Okay, thank you.
So back to sheet 5. The board requested that we do some cross-sections of the property so you can see what it looks like from the front of the property to the back of the property. It, again, it slopes upward. You can see the cross sections where this one runs along the driveway through the shed recently removed, and then it slopes up steeper into the backyard. The second cross section, we did these every, I think it was 12.5 feet. We did split it even across the lot. This one actually goes through the existing dwelling, and you can see where the paver patio in the backyard is. You can see the wall in the front yard, the steepness of the front yard running up to where the vestibule used to be, or the porch used to be, and where the vestibule's going. Another one very similar because it's only a few feet over. And then the last one runs up the side yard where the house isn't. So we showed the steepness of the lot. I think a better perspective for this was probably the topographic plan on sheet 2, which shows the steep slopes. That's probably a better indication of where the lot's steep and where the lot's not steep. Any questions for sheet 5?
Thank you.
If not, I'd like to go back to sheet 3 to discuss a few of the items on the punch list here. Okay, during the previous meeting, I was aware that there were some discussions about alternative locations of the garage. Again, the proposed garage is right here, and there was a question as to why we couldn't move the garage back to where the existing shed was. There is, just off the property, probably about 3.5 feet from the old shed, a very large maple, a 36-inch maple tree, a Norway maple, that actually in the review letters, John Linson, your forester, mentioned that tree, and his notes actually said, and I'm going to read it straight from the report, that is the best location for the garage. To place it further back on the property would damage the root system of the neighbor's Norway maple. In my professional opinion, a shed has a very minimal foundation. It's probably not damaging that tree. It's probably interfering with that tree's root system, but it's not damaging it all that much. The tree was there, the shed was placed on the ground, the tree had to deal with it. Similar situation to the shed that's next door. If we were to place a garage here, a garage has a substantial foundation. We had to dig that out and destroy those roots, it would kill that tree. That's a bad location for us to move it back. If we wanted to move it back even further to try to get it past the drip line of this tree, we'd be disturbing a lot of steep slopes, and we'd be adding a lot of impervious coverage. Not exactly the best situation. In my professional opinion, this is probably the most ideal place for it, because it also adds something to this property. A lot of the times, and I'm not going to knock any architects if they're in the audience, architects like to show off their wares. So they'll have a tendency to place things as far forward on the lot as possible. Gives us a nice street view. By moving things back from the front broken line, I think you might even have it in your ordinance. If you don't, it should be coming soon. By moving this line back from the front line of the house, it reduces the impact on the streetscape. So you're adding a garage here, but you're not adding a garage in everybody's face. You're backing it up. So that's one of the advantages of having it here. In addition to the fact that there's already an entrance right there. I mean, obviously, we could move it 3 or 4 feet forward, 5 or 6 feet back. This is probably the best location for it, as is. So I'm going to sum up a little bit some of the advantages of having it where it is. By putting it here, where the architect had located it, we're avoiding damaging the neighbor's tree. We're reducing lot coverage, which reduces stormwater runoff. And because it's set back from the front view of the house, we're reducing the impact on the street view. And we are providing a garage as required by Summit Ordinance 35-14.2F. In my professional opinion, these variances can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the Summit zoning plan and ordinance.
Okay.
That concludes my
Great.
testimony.
Thank
Any
you, Mr.
questions?
Smith. Yes. Board professionals, what questions do you have for this witness?
Was there any, what's going on with the front retaining wall? Could you talk about the height on that in the front yard?
The height on the front yard, as we're showing on the plan here, is going to be 4 feet high at one end
Okay.
And as it comes up here to where the new landing comes, it's going to start to taper down to 0 as the steps come down. I know you didn't have a chance to review it. Marie, thank you for indulging us.
I did review, and I actually left a message with them to kind of go over some things. And it seems like you responded to most of my comments. I know at the last meeting, we had talked about the possibility of maybe putting a little more buffer between the driveway and the property line on the side. The ordinance calls for 2 feet. Is there any thought on moving the driveway over, since you are redoing the driveway?
Well, we weren't really planning on pulling this curb and digging it out. And one of the reasons is, and you'll see this further on in the testimony when you get through the pictures, the neighbor who is here tonight has a substantial hedge line right along here that provides an existing buffer. If we rip that out, we're probably going to do a little bit of damage to those shrubs, and I'd rather not do that. If it's the board's wish, we will move that driveway over, but I think it would do more damage than good.
So I recognize that you're only disturbing 986 square feet of steep slopes, and that is less than the 1,000 square feet. But it is close, and so I'm just gonna put that on the record, that if you go over 1,000 square feet, that's gonna be a variance that would be required.
We do understand that, and when I did this, I was actually a little generous with the grading around it, just to make sure, because if we put it right at the limit and we were going to be close, I was going to say, no, we need to go for that variance too. But because we were so far under, I said, let's blow this limit out a little bit, just in case you get a little overzealous. And I blew it out a little bit, and we're still under. So that's where we are here.
All right, thank you. So we were talking before about the AC unit, the pad that's on the side of the house, opposite from where the driveway is. Is there any screening that's proposed around that?
If that's the wish of the board, I would suggest that we probably revise the plan to show the new AC unit pad and AC units with the screening as required by ordinance.
Okay, thank you. We had talked at the last meeting, and I don't know if the board still is considering this, that the possibility of maintaining jurisdiction over stormwater for the next 2 years after certificate of occupancy. That would be up to the board to discuss that based on these new plans. So I'll just remind the board that you might want to consider that. And I think that's all I have on this.
Do we still have an appetite for that? Yep.
Yes.
All right, great.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Stankis.
Just a few questions. Ms. Raffay asked one of my questions regarding the AC units. But regarding this staircase that comes out of the front, can you just explain the lines that I'm seeing in the walkway? Those aren't steps themselves, that's actually just concrete? Scoring lines, or-
I'm going to go ahead and point at it over here, but I'm not sure if you can see it from here.
Thank you.
If you're coming down from the house, you're going to step into the proposed vestibule. Once you walk out from the proposed vestibule, you'll be on a proposed landing, and you'll be walking down some raised stairs that are not at grade. When you come down to this landing here, you will be even with the top of the wall. And then cut into the wall are stairs going down the side there. There will obviously have to be a barrier along that, a railing.
That's what I figured.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just
Which
wanted
will
to
be
clarify.
filed for when they file for construction permits for that wall.
So the width of the wall really isn't shown in that instance. It's really going to be built into that walkway.
Exactly.
Right, okay, but you will provide a railing. Okay, thank you. Will someone be offering the photographs for discussion? Because I see that you have the shrub material along that side. Does it actually extend beyond the garage that's proposed in your understanding of the photograph?
In my understanding of the photographs, what I'm looking at there, yes, I believe the shrubs actually go back to about here.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm that.
Yeah, they definitely don't go all the way back to the neighbor's shed or to our shed, but they are further back than where the proposed garage is.
Okay, and that's still, that 2.7 feet is available for pedestrian access to the back?
It is, it's a little tight, but I suspect that most people going into the back will be going up the stairs and then walking around this way, if they were not to go through the house.
But it is about 30 inches in that area?
Yes.
Clear? Okay. All right, thank you. No further questions.
Thanks, Ed.
Scott?
Yes,
Yeah,
board,
just
what
one-
questions do you have?
One question. So the revised plans tonight, might end up being 2 or 3 questions, sorry. The revised plans tonight have or have not been reviewed by all the professionals?
I have reviewed them. There was no official letter that was issued, but I have reviewed them.
Okay, and do you agree with their numbers for the revised variances, the 2 variances they're asking for? Okay.
Yes, and I don't want to speak
They
for you.
they really
There's
haven't
one for the
changed
driveway,
from the
too.
previous design.
Right,
So
we need one
there's
more.
actually 3.
Yeah.
The actual 3, yeah, the
So-
driveway, right.
So the 2 that are noted for the bulk table, I would agree with them. There's 2.7 and then the combined side yard requirement.
Okay, and the driveway.
Right.
Okay. That's all I had. Thanks.
If you thought that they changed a little bit, they did.
Yeah, they did.
It was 3.0 to 2.7, so it was a
2.7.
very minimal change,
Yeah.
but there was a slight change.
And the side yard setback went from, well, percentages or feet, I mean, I think it's 20, it was 29.16, it's now 28.5. Ed, would you agree with that? Is that, if you were going to put a percentage on the side yard?
I thought I heard 29.3.
Yeah, it was 29.3.
Or I can't do math. Okay. 29.3.
Can I just confirm the setback for the driveway? Is it at 0, or is there a?
2.7 feet, I believe.
No, the driveway?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, when I surveyed it, it was actually half a foot clear, 0.5 feet, which you can see on here.
Great,
So
thank you.
between the back of the curb, which is the neighbor's side of the curb, and the property line is a half a foot, 0.5 feet.
I
Ms.
just have
Zahn.
one question, unless I think of another one too. So with all the ductwork already done in the house and the exhaust kind of set, was there any I mean, I know maybe that, you didn't know about that, but given that, would you consider moving the garage back to line up with the back of the house? Because I think that would allow you to still use the door, which I think was one of the homeowner's goals, was to have the garage connected to the house, and not have to change that other exterior ductwork. It seems like if you just pushed, and it would sort of benefit that not being forward-facing on the street, and be a little bit further from most of the house next door too.
I would have to be very careful of that, because remember, we're right at the limit of where we're still in that decrease. If we move this back, there's going to be additional driveway here in front of it, because we're taking up more. So that would now become a net increase in lot coverage. If we did that, then we might have to do stormwater mitigation. Maria, I'm not sure what the limit is in Summit. Is it 400 square feet?
300.
It's 300 square feet? So we could, if we move that back, we are entitled to have another 312 square feet before we would have to put a dry well in. I would prefer not to increase it at all. That's my personal opinion. I think that reducing it is probably the best situation here.
What would you say is the extent of the root system for the neighbor's tree?
For that neighbor's tree, it's difficult to say where the actual roots are. A general rule of thumb that most foresters use is the drip line, and that kind of varies depending on the kind of the tree. Like, everybody knows that a tulip tree is very stick straight and has a very small tuft on the top. It has a very long taproot.
Would
But
you
it
say that
has
this
a root.
drawing is an accurate representation of the drip line then?
I would say that it's a conservative estimate of
Conservative,
the drip
okay.
line.
Okay. Miriam, it sounds like the garage is not going to move.
Yeah, I mean, it
Okay.
doesn't look like moving it back would be in the drip line. If you line it up at the back of the house, it wouldn't be. But I'm asking because I think
But it
that
triggers coverage issues for the.
it might
yeah.
cover
Yeah.
it might not, right? So how much, what's the scale on this? 1 inch is 20? And the garage is how wide? It probably wouldn't even, because we're already at, we're 12 feet reduced, and I don't think it would be, I'm suggesting it because it might actually benefit the homeowner too, to not have to redo some of that ductwork.
Well, if we move, because there's basically 14.2 feet wide here, and we're going to take away a half a foot for the space that's already there that's already grass. So 13.7 feet. For every foot we move back, we're adding 13.7 feet of coverage. So in theory, yes, we could move it back. I would defer to my client as to whether he wishes that to be so, though.
Yeah,
Any
And
other
that would be about 20 feet back, moving
So
about 20 feet.
20 times.
Maybe, or it could be less than 20. I'm just looking at where the,
I think you have the scale wrong. I think it's 1 inch equals 10.
oh, 1 inch equals 10. Oh,
that's
so
a
it's
10
even
square.
less, so,
It's
oh,
about
yeah.
10 feet back.
Okay, so you could, yeah, you have, I think you have the space, you have the, without triggering coverage, but it's just, and it looks like it's not in the drip line. But just, you know, a thought because of the exhaust there, so, but that would change the numbers again, which is why I asked, because otherwise you might come back and ask to move it or something, yeah.
Don?
Yeah, I just have a couple of questions. I'm a little concerned that you, as their professional, didn't know about these air conditioning things, which kind of leads me to believe if there were building plans submitted, were those air conditioners included in the building plans? I'm assuming they were.
They were not included in any documentation that I received.
I'm sure you
And
didn't,
my
get 'em, but I'm wondering if
client-
the city got them, because.
That would be a question for my client. I understand where you're going, Don. Thank you.
And then my other question is, looking at this picture of the backyard, and that's all debris pile of soil removed from somewhere. I don't know what's page,
Page
elevation
4.
all the way to the back of the fence is what it says. You see the same picture? It's got the PVC pipes in it.
PVC pipes and stuff?
Yeah.
That's,
So that's gonna be removed, I would assume, right?
yes, that's where the old shed was.
Yeah.
That's
so-
where they put the construction debris.
It looks like there's a pretty big slope between their property, your client's property, and the neighbor's property.
And there's a bit of a drop off right here as soon as you get to the
Is
edge.
there any water anything to plan to keep the water from running down that way?
Again, the water really kind of runs front to back
How do
because
we
it's
know right now?
steeper this way than it is that way.
You would think so, based on the topography of what we're looking at, but once things are graded and this is gone, there's like no berm, there's no curb, there's nothing to prevent water from running that way, other than the,
You're absolutely correct.
So is there
But in
any
the
way that
existing
something-
condition, there was a shed there that was dumping water there,
yeah.
and now there's not. So we're
I'm a
actually
little
reducing
concerned
the
about
runoff.
water running that way.
Oh, well, I guess now that you say that, because what happens at the back of the garage? What are we doing? If you're saying the water is running sort of towards the street, that, you just said that, but now
Yeah,
it's
the
not,
garage
because
is
now
in.
you have a garage blocking it, so where is the water going, the runoff?
If you would prefer, we could put a berm along this side to ensure that the water stays on our property. You could make that a condition, and I will revise the plans to match that. I
You
would,
could
of course,
even make it
defer to my
like-
client
like
as
a-
to whether he
like
wants
a
to do that.
planting berm, if you want to call it that.
We could
Berm with
plant a berm.
plants, you know, trees.
But I don't think that resolves then for the homeowner what happens with the stormwater that's coming from the back to the garage. Like, where is that going?
True.
That's going to run between the garage and whatever berm we put there.
But there's only 2.7 feet, so how
That's
big
very
is the
tight.
berm going to be?
It's very
There-
tight.
there-
What other questions do we have for this witness? Seeing none? Any questions? Questions only from the public for this witness? Nope. Ms. Wolf?
Excellent. I will call Mr. Yang. And let's mark the pictures that you already have now as Exhibit A2, just formally. And then Mr. Yang can explain them. But Mr. Yang, you understand that you remain under oath, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And let me actually hand out one other exhibit. And Mr. Yang, can you just, while I'm handing this out, I'm going to actually give out a letter from one of your doctors. Could you just explain the genesis of it and why we're submitting it?
And we'll just
Yes.
mark that as A3.
The letter came from VA, Veterans Administrations. I am a service-connected veterans. And with that, I injured my lower back while I was in the service, and that led to a spine surgeries back in 2020. And despite the surgeries, I still sustain a permanent nerve damage on my left foot
I think I have.
when a condition called foot drop, which I cannot lift out my foot, and that caused me to be more prone to twisting my ankles and tripping whenever, let's say, if I step on uneven surface or if surface with wet or icy or snow-covered roads. And that's why having a covered, connected garage on my driveway will help mitigate my mobility limitations and I appreciate board's understanding. And I also wanted to address one of the questions on the air conditionings. We do have it is a separate contractor, and the plan is fully filed with the town. And after the contractor poured the concrete slab, and once the condensers are installed, there will be inspections and signed off.
Yeah, my concern was the one that's in the driveway. There's a unit that's gonna be in your driveway.
I don't,
You said it was an heat duct system, which isn't that a ductless system?
it's a pipe that's on the driveway. I can show you the picture, but it's not an actual unit.
But will there be a unit attached to it that provides heating and cooling?
Right, but the units will be on the opposite side of the house. So,
I'll take your word for it. I don't know if we're on the same page.
yeah, that's my understanding.
Oh, and Mr. Yang, if you just wanted to go through some of the photographs, if you could just describe them to the board.
Sure, so the first pictures here shows the shrub that's in between my property and the neighbors. And same thing on the second picture, showing the same images, but on a much more and broader scale. And the third picture shows the distance between my driveway and the neighbor's house, just to see there's roughly 10 feet of distance.
Would you say that the temporary storage cube approximates the location of the new garage? Is it sort of the same area, or no?
Right.
It's a little
yes,
forward.
To my, yes, yes. Mhm. Yes.
So that's the door, so it's.
Yeah, it's approximately the
Okay.
locations.
Thank you.
And then moving on, page 4 shows, it's just a visual view of the elevations going to the back. I know it's probably much better with the engineer's drawing. And also the maple trees, approximate locations of the maple trees in the backyard. And then page 5 shows similar visuals.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I wanted to sort of take a deeper dive into your conversations with your neighbor regarding the location of this.
The neighbor's actually here, so I
Oh,
don't know if
perfect.
you want to ask the neighbor directly? Just 'cause
Even
otherwise
better.
it might be hearsay.
Well, we are a quasi-judicial proceeding, but certainly asking the neighbor directly is preferable.
Okay, thank you.
Before we do that, let's just make sure our board professionals have any questions for this witness.
No, not for this one.
Okay. Mr. Slikes? Okay. All right. Before we talk to the neighbor, any questions from the board?
I have one. Just because, it's the second time I've been out to the site, and the last time I noticed noted all the debris. And I do think that we have an ordinance about sort of keeping the work site tidy. There is an awful lot of debris all around the property that really probably needs to be removed to be in conformance with the DRO. I think it's chapter 15 that addresses that, but I think the property needs to get cleaned up.
Yep.
There's a lot of trash everywhere, and I think for the neighbors' sake too, that it's not blowing into their yards.
Got it, noted. Yeah, I'll make sure to get that cleaned up.
And there's just one real quick question. So in the front yard, there are no stairs directly down to the driveway? You have to go out to the street? Does that make sense? Well,
There are no stairs right now.
no,
There were.
I get that. But in the new building, and when you're done, if I come out the front door, I go to the proposed landing, down the steps, then I have to turn right and go directly to the street? I can't go straight to the driveway?
That's correct.
Okay.
Can we hear the neighbor now, or do we have to wait till the end? Okay, great. If you want to bring up the neighbor, and we'll have her,
Questions for Mr. Yang?
I don't think so.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Mr. Yang, would you come up as well? And just for the record, this is Edward Yang, and if you could just give us your name and address.
Okay. My name is Edward Yang, Y-A-N-G, and I own and reside at 32 Ridgedale Avenue.
And I'll just swear you in. If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
You can go ahead and tell them about your conversation, about your preferences for the garage, the street, and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So my wife and I purchased the home 3 years ago approximately in March 2023. And we're super excited to be residents of Summit. I have an attached garage. The neighbors across the street have attached garages. The neighbor on the other side of my house, who is Mr. Steiner, has an attached garage. And so we recognize the value of having that available. We also have topological challenges on our property as well. It's extremely sloped downwards. Our shed is on bricks, as you could imagine, to make sure that it's level. And so we also understand that there are a lot of challenges in building a garage anywhere else than that's currently being proposed. And lastly, and kind of like importantly, one of the reasons that we love our home is the giant trees on our property. It provides a lot of shade, a lot of cooling in the hot summers, and it really keeps things like the electricity bill down, and it makes sure that we can enjoy that space in the backyard where we're able to, get out, and we have a young child who's able to play out there in the shade without having to worry about the sun and the heat constantly. So really overall, in my personal opinion and my wife's opinion, this is the best it can be. We had a long conversation with Jay, and we're really excited to be neighbors and overall really supportive of this proposal. We do have one tiny ask, if I may, for the board, which is, I think it's already mentioned, is retaining that stormwater jurisdiction for 2 years, just to make sure that, it's heavily, a lot of downward sloping. We just want to make sure there's no flooding in anyone's basements.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board, any questions for this
Just
witness?
one. Mr. Yang, just given the location where the garage is proposed, I noticed, I was on property earlier this evening, and, clearly there's going to be some massing much closer to the windows on the side of your property. Just want to confirm that you're okay with that.
Yep, we have shrubs, and then we also have additional kind of landscaping there as well. And I continue to maintain that as well.
All right, thank you.
Just one question for you. Would you prefer if the garage were shifted back? Do you have any preference as to the location that the board suggested?
I think what is presented here is what was shared with me, and I think that's the best spot for it today. The door is there, everything's there, and obviously, it's the least amount of work for Jay and his team.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions? No? Okay. No. Thank you so much. Great.
So those are all my witnesses.
Okay.
In quick summary, I think you understand that the applicant is just trying to construct a garage that is ultimately required by this ordinance. We did seriously consider the board's suggestions and recommendations, and we hired another professional to help us out with that. And ultimately, we concluded in her testimony that the location that's proposed is probably the best location, given the steep slopes and the drainage and the other concerns that would be associated with moving that garage back along the tree. So we would respectfully request that you approve this application.
Great, thank you. And before we hear conditions, number of votes, I'll just check and see, is there any other comments from the public for this application? Seeing none. All right, Mr. Ball, what do we have for conditions and how many votes to approve?
Sure, so number of votes we need for a majority, because only C variances are involved here. And I have 3 conditions noted. First is our usual compliance with the conditions noted in the board engineer's memorandum. Second is that the plan shall be revised to reflect the location of the air conditioning units and that they will be screened. And the third condition, as we had just discussed, was that the board shall maintain stormwater jurisdiction for a period of 2 years after the completion of construction.
I believe we also have to install the railing along the wall for safety purposes, and then there was discussion about the berm along the side of the property line.
The railing is required as
Railing's
per
required by code,
building
so-
code, so I don't.
And
And
yes,
then
if-
there's the ductwork that has to be moved that can't exhaust into the garage,
That should be covered under building code.
except it's not on the plan, so
Well,
just
that-
hopefully
that's-
it'll
Well,
be,
the
that's
inspector
the
will
problem
have
is,
to
I'd like to note that that's on the plan, so I think we need to, so it's not shown anywhere, just like the air conditioners aren't shown on the plan, so it needs to, I feel like it needs to be part of the record that it's there.
Should we just request
I assume
updated
there's no
drawings?
objection to it that the ductwork will not exhaust into the garage.
I trust that's fine, correct?
Okay.
And so, I guess, let's hear from the board. What are your thoughts on the potential berm? I know there was some discussion of that.
I mean, the retention of stormwater jurisdiction, and clearly Mr. Yang is concerned with it as well. You know, I could take it or leave it. There's going to be an avenue of recourse for him if it becomes an issue. But it sounds like the two neighbors are talking and seem to be getting along, so I don't know if it's a necessity. It certainly is a nice thing, though.
Yeah, I could live with that.
I
okay
don't
with
think
that.
it's actually, it might not be functional because
Correct.
there's such a limited space to build a berm. I'm not sure it's actually, it's like something that you say, but then when it comes down to constructing it, I'm not sure that there's the space to do it and leave space for stormwater to get by. So it's almost like grading that, maybe if you're grading there, maybe you grade it so that it's not running off. I don't know about a berm.
I think we'll leave it out for now.
Well, the risk that they may run, though, is if it becomes a problem in the future, you might have to put in some far more sophisticated solution to deal with it, and there might be excavation involved and demolition, but, I mean, that's a risk I think the
Yeah.
applicant's undertaking.
And then the access to the backyard, you only got 2.7 feet on one side and a 4-foot wall around the rest.
Yeah.
So
It's-
I may be speaking out of turn here, but it might be beneficial to do it now as opposed to later, but that's,
Well,
Something for
Marie,
the
is
board to
there
discuss.
an alternative you could think of, like, you know, a trench drain or something
Right, that's-
that
I mean-
might actually allow you to pass by?
Could we
Because
just
for-
add a condition saying that the civil engineer will study this specific condition on the lot line and determine the best course of ensuring that the runoff will be minimized into the neighbor's yard, whatever?
So are you looking to say that that would be a condition, that if there was a problem within the next 2 years, that they would have to do something, or are you requesting?
I think he
that
should
do
look
that
at it now and just whatever, he's
Makes
a
sense.
professional, use his best judgment, and when they submit final plans to you, just,
So
indicate.
the condition is that there will be some type of stormwater management.
well, it could be
on the
grading,
side
it
of-
could
yeah,
be a
right,
trench
whatever
drain,
that
it could be a
is.
berm, it's,
But
he's gotta
that's-
propose a solution to
So
you.
usually we would have something along the lines of the engineer would review and propose any potential changes for stormwater management in that area with the board engineer for review and approval.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
My only concern with that is we're not submitting a stormwater management plan, I don't believe.
No, we're not.
So I
Yeah,
don't know how
not a
that would be-
formal stormwater management plan necessarily, but I just think some indication of if it's determined that a trench drain or grading would help that, situation, that, a rough kind of plan and discussion be had with the board engineer for that possibility.
Or perhaps the condition could be that it needs some kind of plan for managing the stormwater runoff on that side has to be presented for review, and keep it by the engineer, just if that's, I don't know, because I think there's something that's going to be required there because of the drop-off.
Yeah.
Because you're funneling all the water into a really small place, and it drops off onto the neighbor's property. So something's gonna have to be done if you're not trying to impact the neighbor, probably.
If you would prefer, I can propose a French drain, run along that line and run a pipe down and discharge it under the driveway.
I think that is,
We don't need to figure that out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So you can work that out with Ms. Raffay.
So, council, I assume then no objection to including that as a condition?
Council?
Okay.
Great, great.
You guys took a lot of steam out of our executive session. All right, so who would like to begin?
I can start.
We're gonna give it to David.
Oh,
go ahead. Why don't you-
No,
All right, fine. Shake
guy
the rust
first.
off.
I forgot there was a new guy. Go ahead, go.
All right, my general viewpoint is if Mr. Yang's okay, I'm okay here. If we look at the positive criteria, the functionality of the property is improved. It's certainly an attached garage is bringing the property closer to the standard and custom of similarly situated houses in our town. Given that the neighbor isn't objecting, they're going to be addressing the stormwater aspect. I don't really see any negatives here. As far as the issues in terms of the construction code are concerned, the construction officials, I think, are more than adequately equipped to handle it, at least if my experience doing construction and on my house is any information on that regard. So I can support this application.
Thank you, Mr. Mullen.
Yeah, David said it very well. I'll just add that I think this is the best location for the garage. I appreciate the efforts to preserve that tree. That was a concern of mine at the first hearing. And I'm happy we're retaining stormwater jurisdiction for 2 years, so I can support the application as well.
I was just going to say, this is a difficult lot to work with, and as our cohort said here, that, the positives definitely outweigh the negatives, and I think this is something that I can support.
Yeah, I also appreciate the additional detail that was provided today. When you were here in October, there were no stairs in the front of the house and nothing on the plan, which really made it challenging to figure out how somebody would access the property, emergency services, so, seeing the plan laid out with the stairs helps too, and, yeah, I can support this.
No,
Mr. Chairman, before
Yes,
you-
please,
one thing?
Mr. Nelson.
And I wanted to thank you for your service. When I saw this letter, I was like, uh-oh, I got some private information
I
that I
was
shouldn't
wondering why I was in
have.
there too.
I
Somebody messed up.
Mr. Ball, I wanted him to know that it was
So, but-
coming and that we weren't violating HIPAA or anything like
Okay.
that.
But thank you for your service. I appreciate it.
Thank you, yes.
Yes, thank you so much. And I also want to thank the applicant for listening to the board and hearing our comments. Last session, we reviewed this application and providing additional drawings and giving us further detail and explanation as to your proposed solutions to our concerns. So thank you for that. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Sands?
Mr. Malay?
Yes.
Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Yuko?
Yes.
Vice Chair Zahn?
Yes.
Mr. Feskins?
Yes.
Chairman Liketz?
Yes. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you for your time.
All right, Ms. Wolf, you're not going very far.
Not going very far, I just gotta grab my bag.
Okay.
That's his letter.
Oh.
That's the VA letter.
What's wrong? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is, but you don't want it floating around.
It is, it's on the website.
Yep, it's public record. Great.
Hi again, I'm still Amanda Wolf, but this time I am representing Miss Una Troy at 37 Webster Avenue. We are seeking variance relief. We started a project in 2008. We did get some approvals for it. There's a decently long history here, so I won't bore you too terribly much. But in short, there are really three issues. There's a deck that was expanded beyond what was permitted. There's a driveway that we believe was approved. I do have an approval document, but it just says driveway. So I'm not clear exactly what was approved with the driveway. So we're just coming in to make sure that everything's approved with the driveway. We also have a building coverage exceedance, and we exceed the building coverage by 123 square feet, which is mostly associated with that deck that was expanded without permits. That's about 131 square feet. So as I mentioned, in 2008, we sought and obtained a building permit for an addition or renovation. That was constructed for the most part. And then in 2009, the applicant obtained a building permit to resurface the driveway. And then we kind of didn't have anything happening for a while. And then in 2024, October specifically, the applicant received a letter advising that she had received a notice of violation for doing work without a grading permit because there was an excess of 600 square feet of land disturbance. So then, almost every other week going forward, the applicant and Mr. Clark, who is seated to my right, went back and forth with the engineering department to figure out how to address these concerns. Ironically, in February of 2025, we did receive a certificate for approval. Again, it just said driveway, so I'm not confident what that was for. But Then subsequent from that, we submitted an engineering permit. We went back and forth and added a dry well, and Mr. Clark worked with the engineering department to do that. But ultimately, we were denied because of these non-conforming conditions associated with the deck and the coverage. So I'm kind of skipping ahead all the way to June of 2025. That was our last kind of communication back and forth. And there was a denial indicating that work was done without a permit for a deck, patio, and driveway. The zoning officer also noted the deck was constructed within the setback and was being expanded. The brick paver patio was within the setback, and that the driveway width needed to be accurately measured. So we did file this application to obtain those necessary approvals. So tonight, we're really looking for a variance for the rear yard setback of 23.3 feet to the deck, whereas 30 feet is required. For a rear yard setback of 2.0 feet to the patio, whereas the rear yard setback is 15 feet required. A bulk variance for the building coverage of 22.1%, whereas 20% is required. And then bulk variance really for the existing non-conforming side yard setback of 7.1 feet, where 8 feet is required. So with that, I will turn this over to Andrew Clark, and I would ask that he be sworn.
Before you do that, Ms. Wolf, just to confirm, all these improvements made to the property were done with the current owner. None of them were inherited, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
All right. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
And please state your name, spell your last name.
Andrew Clark, C-L-A-R-K-E.
Thank you, and you've appeared before us a number of times, including very recently. Any changes to your credentials since the last time you were here?
No changes.
I imagine the board would like to accept you back once again.
Welcome back, Mr. Clark. Please
Thank you.
proceed.
Thank you. I'm just going to make reference first, just to sort of give an overview of what we have here. I don't have my easel, but this will be fine. So I produced two different drawings for this project, and I was first contacted by Ms. Troy in late 2024. Engineering had come out and issued a notice of violation indicating that they had conducted some disturbance that was in excess of what's required for an engineering permit. I was contacted, a little bit confused, because I went out and I said, well, I'm not sure, there's not really much work going on. So I basically did an as-built, like a topographic survey of the property showing here's what's there. Submitted that, had a little back and forth with engineering. They said, okay, but some of this is beyond what the old permits were for. So I tabulated the coverages, all the zoning, and then they said, okay, this looks fine, but show us where the roof leaders are going, and then put together a grading plan, because we need some stormwater management. The coverage seems to have increased above what our records show from that older project in 2008, 2009. So I dug into that, produced the grading plan. In essence, the survey, which you guys have, is on the 11 by 17 sheet, describes the existing conditions. The dwellings here in the back, there's a deck shown, and then behind that is the patio. Those are the two main areas of concern with regards to the setbacks. We're within lot coverage for the zone. And then the driveway was sort of widened a bit out towards the street, so that was another part of this that came into play. The deck, as I understand it, was expanded from what was essentially a landing when the addition was done at the back, which is this segment in the back of the main body of the house. That was the addition that was added in 2008, 2009. To exit from the sliding doors in the back was essentially a landing that looks like, from pictures that I've reviewed with Ms. Troy, it was about 3 by 8. It was a landing and then some steps down and a patio. So when she contracted to have some work done, the driveway expanded and have that deck expanded, she did not understand that that required what we're now in front of you doing. That in fact the deck is considered building coverage and that there were zoning issues in play. Her contractor, I believe, assured her that no, we're good, and did the work. That's how this confusion evolved. So what's there now is essentially an 8 by about 14 feet is the width of the addition, an 8 by 14 deck. It's very modest in terms of decks. And then some steps down to the side. They reconstructed the walk connecting the driveway to that deck, and then the patios behind that deck. Again, it's a modest patio. So at this point, all this work has been done except for paving the driveway and finishing some of the rails for the stairs that come off the deck. Obviously, in addition to that, having produced the lot grading plan, which was also submitted, and recognizing the lot coverage difference between what had existed previously and what's there now, we're enacting some stormwater management with a dry well in the front yard. The difference in coverage, as I've calculated it based on those old plans and a 2006 survey that I had access to, was about 600 and, my note says here, 630 square feet of new impervious coverage from those older records. And so we're attenuating the majority of the house, which is 990 square feet, so just under 1,000 square feet. That's based upon the fact that the roof leaders that handle this part of the house, everything except for the garage portion, that 990, the existing roof leaders come around the right side of the house and discharge at the curb now. So we're just going to pick those up and manage them in a dry well. That's the plan. And I know there was a comment from the forester to see if we could relocate that dry well. I think that's perfectly possible. I think the only constraint would be service utilities that are there, so if the gas or water line is impinging on that. But we should be able to move that dry well a little closer to the street without any big problem, and hopefully try to save he called a tree. It looked more like a shrub when I was doing the survey, but
I wasn't sure what he meant by
nonetheless-
ornamental, but.
Yeah, I mean, nonetheless, the vegetation that's there, and Ms. Troy's also interested in maintaining that as well, so we can relocate that dry well to satisfy that. We also did add a drain in the back right corner. That's mainly because Ms. Troy gets some ponding that happens in that area due to the just sort of localized topography and the property sloped from the rear to the street, going all the way back behind us. I think that in this case, the setbacks for the patio in particular, which is the one that maybe would be of the most concern, the deck is got a little bit of encroachment into that yard, but it's a deck, so it doesn't have the massing of building that you would normally encounter. But in both cases, the setback for the deck and the patio, the house is in the back on lot 6. The house there, I did locate it when I did the survey just for reference, so we knew where it was relative to our site. And the house is 119 feet away from the boundary. So it's farther than the depth of our entire lot away from the boundary. And on lot 5, they have a detached garage that's behind their house. That's 70 feet away. So based on that, I think that there shouldn't be any impact to the neighbors with regards to those setback variances. So I don't see any detriment that would result. With regards to the stormwater, there should be no detriment to anyone. In fact, we're creating an improvement, and there's no stormwater management now other than just the discharge to the curb. Even if there were no dry well there, the water slopes from rear to the street. So the pattern of drainage isn't such that it's pushing water, certainly not to the neighbors in the back, they're uphill, or to the neighbors to the side. So what we're doing is just adding an improvement in accordance with the ordinance, in fact, above and beyond the requirement from the ordinance. So in my opinion, there are no detrimental effects by maintaining and continuing and recognizing these conditions. I think one of the comments earlier on from, there was another step in there where we went through the engineering process, got the engineering approved essentially, and then it went to Roger, the zoning officer, who then reviewed it. It's sort of a backwards process from the normal. And he asked for some clarification on the width of the driveway to make sure it wasn't more than 18 feet wide. And so I added some dimensioning to that to verify that it's not. It's just under. It's So they followed the 18-foot width when they did the driveway construction, so there's no modification necessary for the curb or variance required for that 18 feet. So I think that covers most of the points. I'd be happy to field any questions from your
Great.
professionals or the board at this time.
Let's start with the professionals. Ms. Raffay, what do you have?
So originally in my letter, I had some questions about the size of the dry well. I think you clarified what that is. It sounded to me like you said you're only taking the portion of the house that's going into the dry well, not the whole entire.
Right, so
area,
I went and did a review of the roof lines and the downspouts and the gutters that are there. And essentially this piece where the garage is on the left side is sort of doing its own thing, as it were. There's a couple of downspouts that discharge to grade and come down this line over here, just surface runoff. The rest of the house is what we're managing, because those roof leaders were already there and they come out to the curb. So what we're gonna do is just intercept those. So that's why it's not the full measure of the house, it's the 990. I couldn't quite figure out a reasonable way to get the whole house, but I felt like that was still above the 630 square feet that we've actually increased. So I felt like it was at least overdoing it a little bit.
Right, and I agree with that. You know, based on his testimony, I'm comfortable with the size of the dry well, with the requirements that are being met. You're capturing enough runoff, and anything that's over and above is going to the same place it was before.
Correct.
So I think I'm comfortable with that.
Great.
That's really all I have to say.
Okay, Mr. Stankus.
Regarding the side yard setback, it's a pre-existing condition of 7.1 feet compared to 8 feet?
That's right. In fact, it was pre-existing when Ms. Troy purchased the property, so it was in
Actually,
place
Okay,
before and at her purchase. That was the condition.
okay. And how long ago did you purchase it, do you know?
Well, I think it was the survey in 2006
So way back.
was for the purchase, and I had a copy of that survey, and it's consistent with the survey I did.
Okay. The brick patio, is there any other rationale? I know you mentioned how far away it is to the rear houses or buildings that are on the adjacent lots. Is there any other rationale as to why it's so separate from the house?
Well, I think it was moved back a bit from where the landing was. It used to be that there was a landing that came down and some steps, and then the patio was there. So I think it was just moved a little bit back when they enlarged the deck, just to provide a little space between them for the yard.
Okay.
Obviously, it should have been done differently, but that I think was why they moved it back, so it wasn't right up against the deck that they were building.
Okay. The deck, you were saying it's also to accommodate sliding glass doors that come off?
Yeah, there are some sliding glass doors right at that rear addition in the back.
But that the side yard setbacks for the deck conform? It's really the rear yard
Yes,
setback?
correct. That's correct.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. Board, what questions do you have for this witness?
Oh.
I have two. One is in the back, if you're looking at the survey here, the back left, there's an area with what looks like stepping stones, like a bunch of stepping stones. What is that? Like, is there anything under that? It doesn't show up on the drawing, but there's a whole, there, I don't know.
Out in the field, you're saying?
No, it's kind of to the, if you're looking at where the brick patio is, to the left in the corner there.
Right.
There's just this area of, it looks like, well, maybe not bluestone, but they're definitely, they're not natural. So is there something, that's also some kind of, I don't know, landscaping or
Oh,
something?
you're saying this is something you observed in the
Yeah,
field?
it's there.
Oh.
So I'm just wondering if, is there
Yeah,
anything else under there, some drainage or something?
I'm not aware of that. I mean, sometimes in the field, if there's a modest amount of just little stepping stones, I don't really survey those in detail, in part because they can be picked up easily. I don't
These
always.
are, I would say it's more than modest, though. It's a decent amount.
You have a
in the
photo
corner.
of that?
I do, but I'm not supposed to show my photos.
Oh, you're
My
not?
personal photos, I've learned.
Yeah, because I also don't know if they
Strike
might be on the neighbor's property. If they're more than 2 feet behind where that patio is, they might even be on the neighbor's property.
Well, it's in, there's a fence, right? It's inside the fence on the
Well, there's
property
the
owner.
chain link fence that's on the left side.
Right, so it's to the right of that chain link fence, like on
Oh, so
the,
it's like right in here?
yeah, in that corner.
Okay, I'm not sure what those
What's that?
are,
I
but
don't recall seeing that.
Yeah, well, I was there today, I don't know,
Yeah, I went-
maybe it was covered in snow when you went.
No, I was there today.
And then I guess, and maybe this isn't a question for you, but it seems to me that the patio is pretty easy to move. Now that the deck is in place, why not bring it maybe to the right of the deck where it would be closer to conforming, right?
yeah, I mean, I think
2
that
feet away.
probably is a better question for the owner in terms of whether that would be acceptable.
Anyone else?
How deep is the lot?
The lot's 100 feet.
Okay.
It's 60 by 100 in an R6. It's exactly 6,000 square feet.
How long has that patio been there?
The patio, I think, was relocated at the time of some of this construction that took place.
Like 2024, at
2024.
Yeah,
that
somewhere
time?
in that area. I mean, that patio in that location, well, Ms. Troy would know a
We can
little bit
ask her
better
when she
than
comes
I
up.
would, and
Okay.
you can ask her, but, yeah, I mean, it may have been prior to that, too. It's possible.
All right, we'll ask her.
Yeah.
Any questions? Questions only from the audience? Seeing none? Okay, Ms. Wolf, you want to bring your client?
Take a seat. And if we could have her sworn?
Yep. If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name, spell your last name.
Una Troy, last name Troy.
Thank you.
And Ms. Troy, you're the owner of this property, correct?
Correct.
And when did you purchase the property?
In 2006.
Okay. And I'm not sure, does the board have any questions for her about how this all came to be, or can I kind of skip over that? Okay, perfect. So can you talk about the stepping stones that the board was asking about?
Are they in the corner by where the very left-hand corner?
Yes.
They were stepping stones when the path that runs, when you go along the side of the house, there's a path now that runs from the end of the garage over to the decking. Those stones were there before, those stepping stones.
they
So the
just-
walkway replaced them.
Yes.
And so they were just moved to a different spot, okay?
Okay.
And then the question about the patio, would you consider moving the patio?
Going back to the question about why the patio was where it was really for shade, because in the summertime, the trees there provide shade, that's why, that's where we use a table there, so I put it there for shade. That was the main reason for the location.
Would you be willing to relocate it?
If I need to, I prefer to leave it, but because it's of the shade, but if I need to, then.
Understood.
Okay.
Does the board have any other questions for Ms. Troy?
I have one. Just, I saw that on the side of the house, sort of off the deck, along that walkway, there is also a pretty decent stockpile of pavers, and those might just be left over, but I'm just making sure, is there any other construction project planned, or any other use of those, the pavers that are piled on the side?
No, I just left them there when we were asked to stop the work.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Board professionals, any questions for this witness?
No, I have none.
No questions.
Okay, great. Do we have any public comments on this application? Seeing none. Okay. Mr. Ball, what do we have in terms of conditions and number of votes?
Again, we're only dealing with C variances. 4 votes are required to approve the application, and the only condition I have noted is our usual one, compliance with the conditions noted in the board engineer's memorandum.
Excellent. Who would like to begin? Wow. Don't all jump up at once.
Yeah, I can support this application. It's modest. I know it got lost in the shuffle with the permits and everything like that, but there's no detriment to the neighborhood. It seems like you're doing, some upgrades for the water management. I can support this project.
I agree with my colleague's comment about the modesty of the application. I mean, when we get these asking for forgiveness rather than permission applications, it always sort of gets my attention. And, you typically look for the scale of what the applicant did and sort of the way they did it. And this one clearly seems like more oversight than indifference And given the scale of it, and I thought Mr. Clark made an excellent point about the distance to the neighboring properties to the rear, and given that the rear yard setback is invoked by this request, I think it strongly mitigates any negative potential consequences from it, so I'm supportive.
Great. Mr. Yuko?
Yeah, I agree with all that. I know I don't like the retroactive, please forgive me, applications either, but some of the others have been much more dramatic than this. I mean, this is not, dramatic. I can certainly see how it happens. I'm familiar with not an applicant, a neighbor near where I live who just got caught up in something like this too, so it happens. It's a modest project. It's not out of line with what's in the neighborhood. I don't see any negative impacts, so I can support it as well.
Okay.
I guess I have a mild concern about that patio being 2 feet off the property line because it's not really, there's no public benefit, and I realize there's no public detriment, but I'm trying to wrap my head around that one. I mean, I think, I understand the desire for shade, but you could put an umbrella up too. So that's the one concern I have. I mean, right now, it may be 119 feet to the house behind us, but who knows, that's someone else's property, and we can't speak to how they might use that property another time, and we're basically saying it's okay to have a patio 2 feet off the property line based on what it looks like today. So that's the only thing. The rest of it, I think, I appreciate all the stormwater management. I think, having a deck off the back of your house that is, you have to be able to get out the back of your house too. This all makes sense to me, so that's my only, small concern.
Do we have any additional appetite to put in a condition to move the patio, or are we good with where it is?
I personally don't. I mean, I appreciate the concern you're raising about what might happen in the future, but, I mean, the lots backing this property are also zoned for the R6, so if you were to build something to the max FAR, you're probably not even getting close to even approaching the required setback. So I think any project that would go up that could invoke that concern probably winds up triggering a D variance anyway. So it may be more of a theoretical concern than an actionable one.
Okay. Great. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Sants?
Mr. Malay?
Yes.
Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Yuko?
I'm sorry, yes.
Vice Chair Zahn?
Yes.
Mr. Feskins?
Yes.
Chairman Liketz?
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, 221 Blackburn Road.
Riding a bicycle, I guess. A little bit.
Thank you.
That's totally gonna fall.
It's a little tilted, but I was thinking that we probably need to tell people to be further back, because Mr. Chanchuli and Mr. Malay were looking at the back of people when they were showing their exhibits before. So that's probably a better place to be, but
All right, I'll swear you in. If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
And please state your name and spell your last name.
Sure, my name is Bree Ann Grant, Grant, and I live at 221 Blackburn Road.
Thank you.
I live at 221 Blackburn Road. I've been there for 6 years. I live there with my husband, Bill, and our 3 children. We've been contemplating a substantial renovation for some time. We love our neighborhood. We're close to our school, so we wanted to stay where we are, but just enhance our home in particular enhancing the exterior and remodeling our interior first floor space, which was kind of cobbled together by our prior owners. We're moving the guest room that was on our first floor to an addition over the garage, as well as an office for my husband, so that he has more privacy and could get his work done without our kids coming in. So that's primarily what we're doing in our remodel. We've hired Elizabeth Rush to work with us on a plan, which she's come up with, and she can kind of walk you through the variance that we're asking for and any other questions that the board may have.
Okay. Before we get to your architect, board professionals, any questions for this witness? All right.
Have you
Board
dis-
member, oh,
Have you
Mr.
discussed
Stankus.
the proposal with your neighbor?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Board members, any questions for this witness? No? Any questions from the public? Seeing none? All right, Ms. Rush.
If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give in this matter the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And please state your name, spell your last name.
Elizabeth Rush, RUSH.
Thank you, and you two have appeared before us a number of times, including recently. Any changes to your credentials since the last time you were here?
No.
I imagine the board would accept you back once again.
We would. Welcome back.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to stay seated. I feel like I concentrate better at the table. So I've put, we have some drawings. That's basically your complete application that you have. I also will be showing some renderings on the screens as well. But starting out, the address is 221 Blackburn Road. It's down at the bottom of Blackburn Road near Division. The property characteristics, it's about 100 feet wide by 200 and I think 75 feet long, so it's a pretty deep property. Relatively flat at the street approach, back to the rear of the property where their patio is, and then it slopes up gently to, I think, is Valley View behind you?
Mm-hmm.
Valley View behind you. So the slopes of the property are very much at the rear of the property. Where we're working is at the front of the property near the garage. As Bree mentioned, we are doing extensive renovations to the first floor of the house, just to modernize, open it up. There's a lack of daylight, but no additions or expansions except for what I'll go into on the garage side. I'll stay away from the first floor renovations just because they're not really impacting the variance. And I know it's a little bit late, so I'm going to really focus on what variances we need and what we're doing in that realm. So the main, I guess I'll do it on the boards. The main area of work, right here, this is the existing front-facing garage. As you can see, on the right side of the property, the house is a little bit catty-cornered to the property line, so it's a little skewed, which creates a side yard setback issue, which concurrently also creates a combined side yard setback, which I think the board is familiar. A lot of times when an application needs a side yard setback, it also triggers a combined side yard setback. So that's what we are here for tonight. The garage is remaining in place. We are building an addition on top of the garage. The first floor is a nice size for the lot, and it gives them as much space as they need. The second floor is a little lacking in terms of square footage, and so Bill works from home almost every day, and he would like a nice second floor office above the garage. There's going to be a rear stair, an additional guest bedroom, and a bathroom located in that space. Just wanted to go over some of the characteristics of the home. These are the existing photos. So as you can see, do we know why? Let me see.
Not seeing your display?
What's that?
It's frozen.
Maybe just unplug it and plug it back in.
Sorry, that's going to be a major issue.
When in doubt.
What does that say? Exactly.
Unplug, replug.
It's like the old school thing of like hitting it a few times. Yeah, right.
Take it, that's not your property, but you're sitting right now.
Never seen those trees.
Looks nice.
I think the city forester would like that.
Sorry.
I think you'd make an exception.
Okay.
There we go.
Phew. Held my breath there for a minute. Okay, so just
And,
going over the exterior.
Before
of
you
the
do,
home.
those pictures, they're new this evening, right? They weren't previously
These are,
submitted?
yeah, a few of them are on one of the sheets,
So
but,
we'll mark the entire presentation as A1.
and I'll email that to you, Jessica.
Great.
And could you tell us who took these photos and when they were taken?
I took these photos, I think it was in September. Actually, the first photo might be off of Zillow. No, actually, I did take that photo, and then the rest of them, I did walk around the house and take them. So as you can see, my pointer isn't showing up on the monitor for some reason, but the top left photo is the front of the existing house. It's a little hodgepodge of styles, vinyl siding. The roof is in need of repair. The portico has some lackluster around smaller columns with the front door. And then the garage is recessed to the right of the home. And it's just a little bit small. It looks like at some point it must have been an addition after the main body of the house was built. And then on to the right, at the top right of the house, you can see that's kind of the side profile of the existing roof line of the main body of the house. That's remaining the same. Really where we're focusing, again, is on top of the garage. I provided the aerial view, just showing you where we are at Blackburn and the relationship to the neighbor to the right of the house, because although they have spoken with that neighbor and they are in favor of the application, that of course is where the majority of the work is proposed. So just wanted to show you the aerial view of where that house is located next to their house. And then we do have a rear photo at the bottom. So going on, I believe that you have sheet A4 in your packet. We do have some existing photos on the left. The existing front elevation is at the top right of this sheet, and then the bottom proposed elevation is on the bottom right. As you can see, the garage is remaining as is. The mudroom door to the left of the main garage door is remaining as is. That will remain a mudroom. And then Bill's office and the guest bedroom will be above. The roof line, ridge line of the main gable of the addition will not exceed the height of the existing ridge line of the house. Okay?
I have a question about this elevation. Hypothetically, let's say
Sure.
you did not want to trigger that variance. How would that affect just the curb appeal and the visual aesthetic of it?
If we didn't want to trigger this variance, we would have to shorten that second floor addition, right? It wouldn't be symmetrical on top of the existing garage opening. The house has a lot of symmetrical features. We're trying to kind of cohesively create just the whole house aesthetic and the front elevation. And we thought that bringing it over and creating that gable in that size would balance with the front of the house.
So in your professional opinion, doing what I suggested would be hideous?
I would not be preferred.
Okay, thank you.
I would not propose that.
I was almost leading the witness.
Yeah. The next photos, I'm going to jump right into the renderings. So we had some renderings done just to show you what the proposed final front elevation would look like. We're proposing all new siding on the house. This would be hardy board siding. We're proposing all new roofing, asphalt shingle roofing, probably in a weathered wood. It's a slightly softer, warm gray finish. Some copper detailing at the portico and at the front top gable, just to break up that two-story volume at the front of the house. And then, of course, just classic, I think it's written down on the elevations, AZEK historic sill, casing around the windows, corner boards, just to kind of bring the whole house together. We're also proposing, if you notice the front elevation, these dormers above, that are on either side of the front door on the second floor. There's just a lot of repetition of gable roof lines, so we're proposing to do a little bit of work and make those recede a little bit and reframe those as hip roofs, just to quiet down all those peaks on the front of the house. Another view, this is a photo match showing the relationship to the neighbor's house. As you can see, the Grants is closer to the street. The front door is closer to the street. And then the garage is set back. The neighbor's house is actually even further set back. So it's not, right next to each other. They're not facing each other. And the garage is on the same side as the Grant's proposed garage. So I always like to point that out. It's not like their living room is right next to the proposed addition. Sorry. Just another view, just like to show as many of these as I can. This kind of shows the space between the two houses and a slightly side view of the addition. These are the first floor plans. Just to go over this section, actually, yeah, you can follow with my little cursor right here. This is really the only section that we're building out on the first floor. As you can see right now, there's a pretty large deck at the rear of the property. We are proposing an addition right here, which I believe is noted as around 67 square feet. And then the remaining part of this will be rebuilt as a landing because it is an exit path to the rear yard. And then the garage is remaining as is. And then the second floor, obviously, any shaded lines right here, as you can see, those are post-shade as proposed walls. So that would be on top of that existing footprint, with the additional small area here that we are building out for the stair below. You would come up in the rear of the family room, up a stair. This is the guest suite with the ensuite bathroom, and then an office and a library for Bill to work. There are some rendered CAD elevations that show you the differences. So I always try to show you the existing elevation and then the proposed below it, just so you have the reference. This is the existing rear elevation, and obviously we're trying to, balance the house on the rear. This is kind of mirrored from the front. And then this would be the side where, I guess, the neighbor side that you saw from the rendering, the garage side. This side, it's, you're really just seeing the second story addition in the distance. It's not really impacted on this side. In terms of just going over the staff comments quickly, that's kind of the overview of the project. All work proposed is in compliance with coverage limits of lot coverage, building coverage, and FAR. The variance requested pertain to the right side setback, as we discussed, and the combined side yard setback. These are both due to the existing non-compliant condition of the garage that was there when my clients purchased the home. And I would, even if it's an inch over the setback line, it requires a side yard variance setback, but not, the entire, it's just a clip of that front corner. So just wanted to make that point. In terms of the staff comments, Burgess memorandum, section 4, no objections to the comments of the side yard setback, no objections to the comments of the minimum side yard setback. There was I think they wanted me to testify about the front portico on the general comments section. The existing front portico is approximately 35 square feet, whereas the proposed is about 72 square feet. That would be a net increase of 37 square feet, which is 0.16%. That is really the only increase in coverage that we are proposing. Therefore, we were not required to submit a lot grading or, there's no disturbance. That being said, we did bring a witness from Mueller Engineering because the Grants did do their patio project to 2023? 2020. Okay, 2020, sorry. 2020, which Kathy worked on that project. They implemented stormwater management for that. We just wanted to have her here because she's familiar with the property and has worked on their has worked on their home. So she is here and available for questions. I think that's it. I can try to answer any Collier's questions, but might have to pull up
Okay,
the engineer for that.
great. Board professionals, what questions do you have for this witness?
If we're gonna pull up the engineer, I'll just hold off on asking about stormwater then.
Okay. Mr. Snikes?
Yes, just from questions regarding the actual relief that's necessary. The house itself, as you had indicated, has a pre-existing condition at that 7.5, but it actually is more of an angular relationship to the property line, correct?
Correct.
And that angular relationship is approximately, it looks like it forms a triangle?
Yes.
Effectively. What is the longest leg of that triangle, or the shortest leg, I guess, of where the frontage of that garage is? I was trying to figure out how much square feet that actually is.
That's
setback.
within the setback.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not sure if you know that offhand, but it's really a smaller piece of that overall
It is a
garage
smaller
area.
piece, and you're
Correct.
testing my geometry right now. I need my ninth grader up here.
No worries.
I can definitely get you that information.
Really where I was going to is from a planning standpoint, that is really a smaller component of this overall building that's being proposed as an addition, correct? It's sort of
Correct.
a small wedge of that building. I wanted to point that out. You're complying with the amount of coverage, FAR, as you had indicated.
Yes.
What sort of relief are you asking of the board? It's really not a hardship essentially. It's the benefits outweighing the detriments?
Yeah, I mean, as Mr. Mullen started to ask me, you know, I always try to avoid variances with my clients, always. But sometimes there comes a question, is it going to beautify the architecture? Is it going to be a less beautiful project for the neighborhood? Are you, you know, hurting the client's needs by just complying with one section of the ordinance? So we did go through we went through the sizes of the second floor addition, and we really came up with saying this is the best project for this house, for the neighborhood, and that's why we're here before you tonight.
Okay, and also with regard to the overall design and form of the existing building, you have your garage area that's sort of set back from the frontage
Yes,
of the rest of the house, so it forms sort of an articulation. Do
yes.
you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Of that overall elevation. Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. Board, what questions do you have for this witness? This is,
Stole my question.
all right, well, you guys haven't been silent in a while. This is interesting. Okay, any questions from the public for this witness? Seeing none. What kind of appetite do we have to hear from the engineer, guys?
Mrs. Marie has a question.
Do you have a burning question about the stormwater?
Well, I wanted to know where the roof leaders from the, you know, the
All right,
change in the
we
roof
can
are
do
gonna
that.
go. That's,
So why don't we bring up your engineer and we'll get Marie's question answered.
Sit or stand?
Good evening.
If you're going to stand, please use the portable mic. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We have to
And
swear
Mr.
in.
Ball will swear you in.
Okay, if you could raise your right hand, do you swear from the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
And please state your name, spell your last name.
Catherine with a C, Muller, M-U-E-L-L-E-R, principal and owner of Muller Engineering in Warren Township, New Jersey.
Thank you, and you two have appeared before us relatively recently. Any changes to your credentials since the last time you were here?
No.
I imagine we'll accept her back once again.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back. All right,
So-
Ms. Raffet,
Sure.
you had a question?
yeah, so, if you wouldn't mind just talking about, you know, the existing stormwater, on site and where maybe some of the new downspouts would be going to?
Sure, sure. So we did have a survey done, as you heard, we have some history on the property. We had done the rear, and outdoor amenity space, at which time we did have a stormwater management system designed. We had the survey done. There is a tributary to the Salt Brook that runs parallel to
Blackburn Road, and the whole lot drains down towards that ditch. There are two outlets that are shown on our survey and on the plan, and by visual observances, and you may be able to see them in one of the pictures, there's also an outlet, a PVC pipe, kind of adjacent to the driveway, just to the left of it. So all the downspouts go underground and drain out to the front to the ditch. The improvements for the house and the roof lines will utilize that existing roof leader system. So there'll be no changes to the drainage. There's, as you heard, a slight increase in impervious coverage with the expansion of the front porch, approximately 32 square feet. That will run overland and be disconnected and go through the lawn, and then eventually drain down to that ditch as well.
Okay, so you're not changing any of the drainage patterns, nothing else is going into the existing dry well system that's in the back?
Correct.
You're not making any changes, and because it's less than 300 square feet, you're not required to do any additional
Correct.
stormwater conditions. Okay. Thank you.
Great. Board, what questions do you have for this witness? Seeing none? All right, great. Thank you so much. Any comments from the public? Seeing none? Mr. Ball, what do we have?
Same deal as last time. 4 votes are required to approve because we only have C variances, and the only condition I have noted is our usual compliance with the conditions noted in the board engineer's memorandum.
Great. Who would like to begin? Mr. Yuko.
I'll take a stab. So the variances for this application are not driven by any increases in footprints, or they're going up into the air. And the concern with going up into the air is there going to be any negative impact on the neighbors or any other, in terms of light and air, circulation, whatever? And is there any additional landscaping screening might be needed? So our forester is not calling for any additional landscaping. It does not appear to me that there's any negative impact on the light or air for the neighbor, and the fact that the neighbor's not here, assuming they found out a bit about the application, they're not here to express any concern. It improves the look of the house, so that's a positive impact. It's not out of scale with the neighborhood. A lot of very, very attractive homes, and I think this will improve the look of this home in the neighborhood. So I can support the application.
Great. Who else? Mr. Feskins.
You know, Ms. Rush has been here before. I think she's done a very thoughtful approach with the design. I think it fits very nicely, and when you look at the orientation of the house, to make this conform, you're either doing something that looks hideous, as my colleague mentioned, which I would agree with, or you're detrimentally impacting the function of the garage by rebuilding it. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't see any negative impacts. The location of the house next to the neighbor, and the fact that it is set back, and the undulation, the articulation away from it makes it even, the mass feel even smaller. For that reason, I think it's very thoughtfully designed, very modest, and I can fully support it.
Great.
And just to add on to what Mr. Feskins and Mr. Yuko said, I think that there is a public benefit. I think this design is a public benefit. The house that's there is fine. I'm not trying to say that, but the garage doesn't look like it's part of the house. It's not cohesive, and I think this improves not only the look of the house, but the whole neighborhood, the streetscape. So I do think that's a public benefit, and I can support this application.
I certainly agree with my colleagues, and I think Mr. Steinkus was going down this road that the angle where the house is set onto the property, right, is sort of a hardship in my mind. I know when you bought the property, it didn't occur to you that this would, 10 years down the line, that this would become an issue. So maybe hardship's too strong a term, but still, it's providing you a challenge, and I applaud you for showing restraint in terms of staying within the footprint of the house for the most part. There's so many people that come in here that do not do that, so we always like it when we, once in a while, get someone who actually shows the restraint, and I agree. My colleagues, the design's excellent. It's a very lovely home, but this is an obvious improvement. So with that, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Malay?
Yes.
Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Yuko?
Yes.
Vice Chair Zahn,
Yes.
Mr. Feskins.
Yes.
Chairman Liketz.
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. So we have some resolutions, but no minutes, it looks like.
Up first for resolutions for memorialization, we have 96 Fernwood Road, zoning board application number ZB-25-2294. The eligible members to vote are Vice Chair Zahn, Mr. Nelson, Mr. Feskins, and Chairman Liketz. Could we get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Vice Chair Zahn,
Yes.
Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Feskins.
Yes.
Chairman Liketz.
Yes.
Next up, we have 14 Hughes Place, zoning board application number ZB-25-2305. The eligible members to vote are Vice Chair Zahn, Mr. Yuko, Mr. Nelson, Ms. Chifo, Mr. Feskins, and Chairman Liketz. Could we get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Vice Chair Zahn,
Yes.
Mr. Yuko,
Yes.
Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Feskins.
Yes.
Chairman Liketz.
Yes.
And lastly, we have 90 Tulip Street, zoning board application number ZB-25-2314. The eligible members to vote are Vice Chair Zahn, Mr. Yuko, Mr. Nelson, Mr. Feskins, and Chairman Liketz. Could we get a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Vice Chair Zahn,
Yes.
Mr. Yuko,
Yes.
Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Feskins.
Yes.
Chairman Liketz.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
9:30.